Alright, BobalosRex here. And sit back, relax, because this is a lore rant. And I'm going to recap the story of Dragonflight. So far, we've had the epilogue, so I'm going to recap the story. Throw a little of my own commentary, my own opinions, and rant about all this lore we got, this whole expansion. So I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to talk about everything. Alright? So, let's get into it. Here, let me... That should be good. Alright. So, Shadowlands ends. Alright? 3 years later. Shadowlands took 2 years, by the way. So, from the end of BFA, it's been 5 years. Alright? So, 3 years after Shadowlands. Alright? So, whatever your characters did for 3 years, that's between you and them. Alright? Then, we see some Primalist activity. You know, we had the wedding of Lothamar and Dalrisra, and I'm upset I missed it. My character would have gone, but you know, it is what it is. Rathian was there, some Kurog Grim Totem dude, who was like a nobody, showed up just to talk shit, I guess. I don't know. He had problems. Alright. So, then it seems a little bit after that we get these primal invasions. Alright, are the elementals unrest because something's going on with the world? Maybe. But it's these primalist group channeling elements saying, you know what, there weren't really doomsayers. But they were going to be like, we're going to change Azeroth. And we beat them up for loot or whatever. Then, the cinematic happens at some point. The Primalists hear about it pretty quickly, because they send out a people. They're a bunch of shamans, so they probably water walked over or something. They go over. Here, let's see. Because now we're at the Dragon Isles. Now we're going to get to the map. So let's pull up the big map. Alright. So these Primalists are like, yo. This is where I think's up with Kurog Grim Totem. He is a Grim Totem. I think Magatha was a Primalist. Because we've seen Primalists. Primalists apparently are like 1500, 10k years old. But you can easily just pass down this Primalist, pro-Earth, anti-Titan movement just down the generations, you know. Grim Totem may be a faction of shaman that hate the Titans, love the elements. We've kind of seen that. So, we head on over. They head on over. Kurog knows about a secret prison. He knows about the Primal Incarnates being in prison. And this was the first prison they all tried to get to in the first place. Alright? They were trying to get Raszageth free. Viranoth was trying to get Raszageth free. They were all trying to get Raszageth free. When Farak got caught, they were like, I mean, we'll try to help you, but they cared about getting Raszageth. Alright, so it's passed down. Primalists come over. They want to get Raszageth out. They start poking around this island. What's in here? Oop, nothing we need here. What's in here? Oop, nothing in here. Nothing in here. Oop. Little did the Primalists know, because only Raszageth knew, realistically. Deathwing made some dragon super soldiers, alright? Deathwing was like, you know what? These little mortal troll-looking creatures, the Tara sect included, they're adaptable. us dragons are powerful. Let me put that on that. Let's mix it all up. Dragon super soldiers. And then he mind controlled them. Because even though he made them to do good, he was like, nah, I don't trust them. I'm going to enslave their mind with order magic. And there you go. Then that Razageth broke that. Alright? Some backstory you're going to need to know for later. So, they awakened the dragon super soldiers. But they found Razageth's place over here. Storm Thunder Crater. Alright? And Nozdormu and Rathian and Abyssian show up like, yo, we saw this shit going on too. Because they were chilling. Because the dragons had already gone back. The cinematic had happened. Stony Tony fell, blah, blah, blah. Light, Shroud. The dragons had come over. 100%. Alright? The dragons had come to the Dragon Isles before Stony Tony had lit. So, were the dragons called? Was the island awakened? What does awakening an island mean? I'll get more into this a little bit later, because we know new info. But, dragons come out, they know where it's roughly at. Azeroth, Alexstrasza was feeling the call of the Isles. Not the beacon, the call. And then, something was affecting the dragons. All the dragons felt this like, man, it's time to go home. So they were heading over. Alexstrasza knew roughly the area. Okay. Now, did the stuff start waking up here? Were the dragons trying to get in, but unable to because of the magic? Now, Stony Tony awakens, luckily. Like, imagine if he wasn't here. The beacon gets turned on, dragons get in. Alexstrasza's like, thank you. Helps him out. Blah, blah, blah. The other things on the island had been asleep too, namely the Jarden and the Tara sect. But all the other critters on the island going about their merry way. Alright? So, Drakthir awaken, Isles awaken, Kurog Grimtotem, freeze Razageth. Dun, dun, dun. She goes flying off. What's she doing? She fucking shit up. That's what she liked to do. One of the first major areas where we see her is going to be over here. Us player characters haven't been involved yet. Drakthir awakened, they head over. Razageth's free. She pretty much starts to head over this way. Or fly around for a bit. Then us player characters get called up. Khadgar. The Dragon Scale Expedition. We suiting up. The dragons, the Drakthir had come back and we're like, hey, stuff's going on. We're like, we're gonna suit up and head out. Okay? Like a month, maybe it was 2 weeks. Drakthir released, 2 weeks, boom. We head into the Dragon Isles, baby. Alright. Horde Alliance, we a team. We've been at peace for 5 years. A 5-year peace with the Horde and Alliance. Can you believe that? That's crazy. The next longest peace we had was 4. And that was Warcraft. 3 to World of Warcraft. But here we go. So we head on over. And we in the Awakened Shore. Stuff is going on. The Jarden awaken. The Jarden are going back right after their #1 enemy from the old war. Jarden hate the Black Dragons. And that's kind of fucked up. Alright, but they had a beef. So, we head over to Ringrest. We help some stuff. We get a dragon. That's fun. Razageth attacking over here. Whole dungeon for a Razageth attack. But we saved the day. You know what it is. Then, we gotta go help Rathian. And then he meets his new brother. Civilian from Outland. They pulled him out of retirement. Or obscurity. He's back. New model. And then we had to play pick your Dragonflight aspect, but not really. And we knew going in it wasn't a really, because me, like many players, we sided with both of them. And then we got a mammoth. And then the Jarden had a taken over there. We helped them out. Yada yada. Then we met some archaeologists, and they were like, yo, there's some centaur. And we're like, what? Where'd these centaur come from? Guess where these centaur come from? Ancient Kalimdor. They're like, what? I thought centaur were new. Because centaur were new. Okay? As far as we knew, centaur were made because of the princess of the earth. Oh my god, I can't remember her name. Daughter of Therazane. What is her name? It's like, oh my god. Okay, an elemental hooked up with the centaur. Not a centaur, a keeper of the forest, and made centaur. That's what we had always thought. But it turns out, and guess so, I wasn't surprised. Centaur were native to Azeroth, to ancient Kalimdor. But apparently they fought a lot. Which the new ones did as well. And this could just be a tale, right? This doesn't necessarily have to be true, but yeah, so maybe they were extinct, they came back with that union. But we've seen, here's the thing, Keepers of the Forest are centaur, but they try to make it like they're not. But it's like, at a certain point, I think centaur on Kalimdor may have turned into either keepers or wiped themselves out. Because if one of my theories is true, this is a theory, right? Anything that hung out near the well turned to look like night elves. Centaurs look like human top. Keepers look like night elf top. See what I'm saying? So, turns out there was some centaur that headed over in like the in-between with the War of the Ancients. So, they fought in the War of the Ancients and then like headed over. Some headed over. In this interim. Okay? Because we don't know how long the War of the Ancients actually lasted. You know, how long like the whole event lasted. So they fought some demons and they headed over. Because they were like, the centaur over here keep beefing. Their eagle spirit was like, hey, I'm going to give us water. I'm going to fly us over. Alright? And we'll hang out here. So we find out, we hang out with these centaur. They had a beef with the Emerald Dragon, but then the Emerald Dragon squashed it. Alright, you know, they probably got them some good sleep, and they were like, let's settle our beef. They squashed it. But one centaur clan hated this, because they just wanted war. And they were teamed up with the Primalist. Dun dun dun. And then we beat them up in the dungeon. And then they had an elite area. Which we then... we'll get to that later. So we help out the centaur, help out the green dragons, because the primalists were attacking over here. Alright, they attacking all over. But we protect the Emerald Dream. We bring back Ysera. Alright, we bring her back. Because she was the only one on that side of the... So we had gotten stuck because we had brought in... Ysera's grandson, Marithra's son, had decided to bring a new friend along. He was sus the whole time, but he brought him in. He froze everything. We needed to go to the Shadowlands to go into the back entrance of the dream, to send someone into the back entrance of the dream, because the dream is connected to the Ardenweald. Alright, the Emerald Dream and Ardenweald are connected in a way. So we went in the back way, and we got to the Emerald Dream, and we had to use Ysir to do that, and then she protected the dream there, and it was a good time. Alright? It was a good time. Alright, and then we were like, alright, time to head on over, did some profession stuff on down over here, and then we were... Alright, hopefully that wasn't too loud. Heading into the Azure Span. Alright, we met some Tuskar. And then the Primalists attacking there. That was bad. But then we stopped it and we were chilling. Then Kalecgos was like, I don't know how to be an aspect. And we were like, you know what? I don't either. Had us do some stuff over here. And then he was like, you know what? Go meet my buddies the Tuskar. So Kalecgos comes with us. We hang out with the Tuskar. The Tuskar teach Kalecgos about family and unity and friendship and feasts. And the gnolls of the area were acting up. They were on some decay shit. Alright? So we had to stop them. So we helped the Tuskar do that as well. And then we headed back to Kalecgos, and he was like, oh my god! Raszageth is attacking Vakthros, and we're like, what? Okay, so we had to go do that. We helped him out there. And then Raszageth was like, I'm gonna break into Vakthros. And then we were like, not today. Not today. Because some blue dragons showed up, Senego showed up and saved the day. The blue dragons finally showed up. Because they all spread out. But we'll fix that later. Oh, and there were some good gnolls over here that we helped too. So, Gnoll allied race in like 5 years, maybe. One can hope. Alright, then we're like, this craziness happened at Vakthros. Raszageth is acting up on this side of the place now. Where are they gonna go? Then we head up on here. We head over to Alexstrasza. We meet her in Valdrakken. We see the big city of dragons, and we're like, oh my god. You know? And remember, this had been a working city the whole time the dragons were in here. Alright? So. And there's some drama. She's like, you know what? There's some drama. The Primalists are infiltrating and spreading propaganda against the dragons coming back because the Draconid, who had been living here, got kind of chased out by the dragons showing up, which is a little messed up. Now, I mean, it's really messed up, but they're gonna get it sorted later. So, then we're sent on over here to help out with some timey-wimey stuff. We go running through time, we go to the Murloc timeline, and we learn about the WoW multiverse, alright, in a way. And then we head on back. And then Alexstrasza's like, yo, I think I know where Raszageth is going to attack. The prison of her freaking... Oh no. Alexstrasza... So the whole time we came to the Dragon Isles, this was the big deal. Alright, let's be real. Maybe I forgot it because it's been unconsequential. Kind of. But there were oath stones. We needed to light the oath stones. Okay? I was talking through the lens of the player character what we did. But we did have to light these oath stones. There was one here for the red. We helped them. Our buddy died up here for an egg. Sad time. Then we did one for the black Dragonflight. Right here, we fixed it. We fixed it up. It was all cracked. Then for the Emerald Dragon, the dragons and Centaur became friends again. And that oath stone was reignited. And then over here, Kalecgos learned what family is and reignited his oath stone. Alright. And then we helped the bronze timey-wimey stuff, and we ignited that oath stone as well. Happy times. So, Alexstrasza's like, yo, all the stones are lit. Let's activate the Mother Oath Stone to get our powers back. She goes over here to ignite it. Nothing happens. Razageth shows up and is like, ha, ha, ha. Yo, Titan stuff ain't gonna help you. And then runs off to the prison of her siblings that she figured out because she was in prison before this was even... Or, you know what? They may have heard about this, but she may have not. Like a little bit. I'm trying to remember. But either way, she knows now. So, she heads on over. Alright. And then she's like, I'm gonna bust in. Alexstrasza's like, oh no, I need to put the call out. Yo, adventurer, get your friends. I got a raid for you to do. Alright? Primalist attacking here. We gotta help him out. And we go to class up here for funsies. Alright, for those 2 dungeons. But yeah, we gotta do the raid. And let me tell you, this raid had some good stuff in it. Alright? We had a dude we met during the campaign. You know, we saw him get buffed. And we beat him up easy. Then they had a rock elemental. You know, they summoned him from the elemental plane. And it was interrupted. And that's why he's just a torso. You know how that is. You know, we had a whole council with people. And all of them died. Except for Dathia. More on that later. We fought an ice spider, man. And the whole time we're in the Vault of the Incarnates, we're hanging out with Kalagos and Khadgar as we're busting through. Alright? Then Dathia comes back round 2 as a wind. And then we fight big boy Karag. Alright? Now he has a different model. You may be looking, why he in the busted model? Because when he elementally powers up, he loses the armor. It's like the armor becomes part of him when he's powered up. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. But you see him in his busted form. But in the fight, he looking cool. Alright. So, we deal with him, get our revenge. Then, we actually fight Aranog's mom? Yeah, that's his mom. Maybe his grandmother. I'm thinking his mom. So she's upset. Alright, so we gotta take her out. You know, get her out the way, get some loot. You know, everyone remembers this trinket. The Maniac Grief Torch. Everyone knows about that. Alright, so we knock her out. Then we gotta stop the chicken. The lightning chicken. From getting her siblings. So we kind of focused on killing her, and she may have already awoken her siblings. Okay, so she was trying to open the doors while we beat her up, and I mean, she's a dragon, she flies. It was kind of hard for us to hit her a lot of the time, so she ended up doing what she wanted to do. We killed her because we wanted that loot. Alright? But she unleashes her siblings. Who, one is with us right now. The others we will talk about in a little bit. So, all that happened. It was good times. So, they're unleashed. And then we're kind of just like, well, that happened. Kalagos and Khadgar come back to Alexstrasza, or Alexstrasza's like, Farok sucks. Virnoth, I know her. I'm not going to tell you much more now, but you'll learn later. And then Eridicron, that's a bad guy. That's a really bad guy. Alright? And then that sits for a bit. Alright? Now, one of the cool things about base Dragonflight is we got Mage Rogue Priest for everybody. So we got Tauren Rogues Unleashed. You know, we got Orc Priests out in the world. And Tauren Mages. Alright? And we were just chilling. But then 2 months later, boom. 10.5. Or 10.0.5. Little did we know, people were building up shop in Orgrimmar and Stormwind. And we got the trading post. And everyone was like, this is going to be permanent drama. And I love it. So, what a great feature. We also got the Mage Tower back. And we got some Primal Storms. So, in base Dragonflight, we've had Primal Storms before. Alright? The Elemental Storms were popping off. But then, we had the Storm's Fury that happened in the future. Because we went to the future where the Primalists won. That isn't the future where, like, is going to happen, but we went there, and there was some craziness going on there. I think we just wanted to go there for loot. But, you know, timey-wimey stuff will come back later, too. And then the Mage Tower came back, so we could go back to Legion. You know, if you like that expansion more, you get some content to do over here. Good for us. Alright? So then, there's some stuff, right? Razageth's dead. The Forbidden Reach, the Storm, is a baby. Alright? And then we get 10.0.7, Return to the Forbidden Reach. Emberthal, you remember her from the Drakthir? I didn't mention her, but she's a character and she's awesome. If you played a Drakthir, you know Emberthal. Her and the other Drakthir are like, yo, we gotta go back to our home. I left some stuff there. I gotta go pick it up. So, we head on over to the Forbidden Reach. Little did we know, the Incarnates, Varrock, Eridikron, and Virana, had headed up to the Forbidden Reach, and they were doing something. But someone else was following them. One Kresh, which is like one wing of the Drakthir, kind of said, I don't like y'all. I'm gonna go do my own shit. So Sarkareth peaced out and started doing his own Drakthir thing. He was acting up over here, acting up over here. Not so much here and here. Alright? But he definitely acting up here. So, we return to the Forbidden Reach. Everyone's heading up. Monks, everyone learned how to punch and kick that patch as well. Every race can now be a monk in this patch. 10.0.7. And there was some extra goodies coming too. So, we do that stuff on the Forbidden Reach. Alright? Deal with that. Bane has an issue with the Centaur because some Tauren migrated over. And something happened. So Bane blasts. Literally blasts no could hold. Rocking these bad Centaur. Because the Centaur here, he was mad at all the Centaur. But the Centaur here were like, yo, we didn't hurt you guys. We'll actually help you figure out who did. So we help him out. Bane starts a new camp over here. They're setting up camp here. We figure out who did it, and he blasts, like I said. And then we hang out. The Founding of Durotar people reunite, hang out over here too. Now we got a Tauren and Centaur living together in harmony in the Onaran Plains. Wild stuff. Awesome. Then, we learned over here, right? Up over here, we learned how to speak Furbolg. We learned. Alright, we just had to farm some Primalists, and then we learned how to speak Furbog. Great stuff. Should be account wide. Please. Alright. Not only that, but the orcs and humans got heritage armors. So the humans got to hang out with Vanessa Van Cleef in Westfall. Westfall round 2 with Vanessa. You know, and they got some fancy armor. But the orcs got some good stuff. So the orcs got to hang out and essentially throw a Kosharg, which is a orc festival from Draenor. So they made the first Kosharg of Azeroth. Alright. And there was some cool stuff going on in Thunder Ridge, and trees started to sprout. So the reforestification of Durotar may be happening as we speak. And all the orc tribes. What are they called? Yeah, all the scattered orc tribes reunited. Or clans, not tribes. Fuck. Clans. The orc clans reunited. Man, I got confused. That's my bad. But yeah, the orc clans reunited. Dragon Maw, Blade Fist, the whole shebang. And the Maghar, too. It was a great time for the orcs. Alright. So, a lot of stuff happened in that 0.7. Alright? But little did we know, this stuff going on here, Iridikron grabbed some Neltharion tech that he had hidden here. Now, what it does, we really don't know at this point. But it can hold things. Alright? And he actually learns about a secret vault. So, we're chilling, doing all the stuff I described. Meanwhile, Iridikron, Viranoth, and Farak roll up over here. Alright, some unfortunate centaur investigated too much. So, they're like, we want to go to Neltharion's secret laboratory. And they bust in a hole in the earth. Because little did we know that beneath the Dragon Isles, there is mole people. Mole people called the Niffin of Loam. Maybe there's more. But here we are, 10.1, Embers of Neltharion. We bust in. Rathian, Abyssian joining up with the Black Dragons here. Because he was hanging out with Emberthal as she sorts out some of the Drakthir drama with her and Sarkareth. Because she don't want to hurt him, but he doing some bullshit. Alright? And he's bringing other Drakthir with him. Alright? Because he just wants power. You know how that is. So, and he don't want to listen to nobody else. So, Abyssian, Emberthal, Rathian, and Sibylian, we all head in here. Right? And we're like, this is where Farak is. Because Farak is down here. We know where Farak is. Viranoth and Iridikron, they hiding. Because Iridikron got caves everywhere. Because he Earth Boy. Alright? So we head into here. We find some secret Titan stuff. Learn about a relic. The glove that Neltharion had. Sarkareth takes that and heads into Neltharion's secret laboratory. Alright? Here's the thing. Deathwing had a vault up here where he wrote his fanfic. Alright? And where he kept his Ratatouille. But once we unleashed his Ratatouille, named Roland, he rolled up here with some more secrets. Alright? Don't ever ignore the Ratatouille. Deathwing's secret Ratatouille. But yeah, so Sarkareth heads off to the labs. We're still dealing with Farak. So we realize where he's hanging out. Because all the Jarden are down here. Jarden all over the place. Down here. Because this is where their elders hid. After some fighting with Neltharion. Alright. So. We head over here. We're like, where's Farak? We're fighting all these Jarden. We're like, where's Farak? Then he wakes up from his lava bubble. And we're like, oh my god. He's shadow flamed up. But Sibyllion's like, yo, I could take him. So Sibylion throws a spear. And Farak's like, bruh, that don't work. And then he wrecks Sibylion. And then we gotta go help Sibylion. And then later we head back. And then Abyssian gets hit with a spear. And then Sibylion helps Abyssian. And then we all head back to Loam. Because Farak had burned the Niffin. Because he's horrible. Alright? So. That was no good. Now. From here. One of the elders is awoken. Igira. She's going to show up later. We're back to Loam. We're like, okay. Farak is untouchable right now. Alright? He flew off. He doing his own thing. Because he burned the Niffin and flew off out of the hole. Alright, what is he doing? Find out later. So then we got to deal with Sarkareth. So Abyssian, Emberthal, and everybody, we got to head up to Aberys. And then we head in to the raid. The second raid of the expansion, Aberys, the Shadowed Crucible. Where we meet Proto-Deathwing. He is like, yo, I want to try this armor that I'm going to use later on this dragon. And let me tell you, it did not work well for the dragon. Let me tell you. When this stuff falls off, it don't look pretty. Alright? Then we find his Shadow Flame Chamber, and we beat it up. Because this is where he makes Shadow Flame. Alright? Then we see where, this is actually where he made the Drakthir. I mean, look at him. You know, here's a experiment. We almost could have had this. A lot of people would have wanted this. But interesting thing to note, 3 fingers. 3 fingers. Were Proto-Trolls thicker? Then we got... Still we got 3 fingers here. And it's still... this one looks effed up. He took a wrong turn. And then we got Rionthus. Because all these is a step up. Actually, in the fight, I believe. Then we got Rionthus. 5 fingers. He almost cracked the code. Alright, this may be almost the first Drakthir, pretty much. Because look at him. Or no, there was like an albino one in there too. Alright, so we got to see that. Then the Jarden were busting into the facility, right? Because this was a Neltharion facility just left to lie. Alright? So the Jarden are busting in because, guess what? We knew where 3 of the elders were, but they didn't find the 4th. Because guess what? Neltharion was like, I need a battery for my lab. These Jardens suck. I'm just going to use one of them as a battery. That's right? So that's Rashok, a battery that powered the place, and they bust in the door. We take out Rashok, because, I mean, we needed loot. So then we meet the steward that's been holding down the fort, Ziskarn. And let me tell you, he has some problems. he started some drama, that's for sure. And we take him out. You know, we gotta get our loot, you know. Then we fight a little experiment. Here, let's look at his lore real quick. Raised from a pup. You know, just a little lava hydra. Raised from a little pup, look at him. But he attacked us and he's got loot and he's real easy, so we take him out. Then we're like getting led, the whole time we were getting led through this facility with Rathian and Sibylian with the Neltharian clone, kind of like a Syndragosa we saw in Azure Span. Little side tangent, there was a Syndragosa echo in Azure Span, but we'll get back to that soon. So Neltharian turns out to literally be a tentacle guy the whole time, and we're like, oh my god. And then we find a void hole and we're like, yo, what was he doing in his void hole? Well, Sarkowith went into the void hole and started tapping into that power, because he got here first, you know, because we were doing other things. And then we slowly see him deteriorate. He gets all thick and big, almost looking like this kind of dude, okay? But more souped up on him. I wish I could show it, but you can't see the model, but he'd be looking angry. Alright? But then we take him out, because he's bad news. Alright, he doing shady shit with the void. You know, and he had a really good trinket and a cloak, alright? So that was important. Alright, so we take out Sarkowith, alright? Now, that was a fun little raid. You know, we have a good time. We chill. Farok went off. We don't know what he's doing. But yeah. Then we have 10.1.5. Alright. Fractures in time. Hold up now. I need to figure out something. But then we have fractures in time. And hold up. When did this happen? Okay, this patch. Okay. I was right. So 10.1.5, fractures in time. Stuff starts happening. Alright? Murazon, or we find out that the Infinite is working with the Ridicron. Alright? Early on, we had... Oh, shoot. So, we had this issue in Uldaman. Alright, if you don't remember. The Infinites were doing some froggy stuff in Legacy of Tyr. Alright, in this dungeon, in Uldaman. Alright? They took some stuff that we really needed. Alright? To help the dragons, apparently. So, now in Fractures in Time, we're following through with that. Alright? There's also... I missed this in the base. I should have been checking off my list. So, we kind of 3D printed Tyr. Alright, so we have a 3D printed Tyr. We have Infinites doing crazy stuff. Alright? And now in 10.1.5, a lot of this is coming back around. Alright? And we get the Dawn of the Infinite Mega Dungeon. We get races in Kalimdor. Okay? Because the Flight Masters of Azeroth had kind of come over in 10.1 and were like, this dragon riding is really good. So, we get Kalimdor races. Alright? We get Augmentation Evoker. Because the Evokers went back after taking out Sarkareth, and were like, yo, we know how to free this dragon up here now. Okay? Because when we were up here as the Evokers, we found Adamanthia. Alright? Hidden over here. So we helped her out. She was a little upset. So we had to fight her. But then we learned how to be Augmentation Evokers. You know, because we actually had 3 specs all along. It's wild. And that caused a lot of drama. Also, in 10.1.5, we got Warlocks for everyone. And we got Warlock Questline. They got us Warlock customizations. We got a Whelp Daycare. We got Time Rifts and Farrak Assaults. Alright. Because this time stuff is going on. Meanwhile, Farrak is like, yo, I hate some areas, so I'm going to burn it down. And he had a bunch of Jarden working for him because he's trying to get ore for something. Alright? More on that later. Alright? And then, yeah, we start having time rifts between the WoW multiverse. Alright? Because of the dungeon, which we're going to get into right now. Hold up. Roll it back. I should have used my paper more. So, in 10.1, we also got to help the Blue Dragons. So, Kaligos in 10.1 put out the call to the Blue Dragons, and then was like, no one showed up. Or that was in the base game. He put out the call. One person showed up. So he's like, yo, I want to get more people to show up. So he has us go running all around. We do some stuff up here. And then we go running around all over Azeroth getting Blue Dragons to come back. Alright? And then something tragic happens. Senegos dies. On his own accord. But it's still sad as hell. Okay? No, 10.1 had Farrak Assaults. I had it on my paper. So 10.1, we got Farrak Assaults. He busted out and started burning stuff and mining ore. And doing Shadow Flame stuff with it, alright? Shadow Forging. Alright? So all that was going on during 10.1. 10.5, we get this time stuff. Alright, we get the rifts in time and we get the dungeon. So let's get into this dungeon. Alright? This is why I call it a lore rant. Sometimes I get off track, but we're back on track. So, we roll in with Chromie. We gotta knock out some of these things. The time waste screwed up. We go back in time to Galakrond. We see his giant ass. Then, Iridikron. Look at him. He be acting up with the Infinites. He steals Galakrond's hunger, but in this version of the time, we stop him. But then, Murozond awakens and ruins the whole timeline, and we're in alternate Dragonflight, and there's Evil Tyr. Because in Murozond timeline, where he becomes Murozond at the beginning, goes very differently. So, Tyr, upset. Now, it's interesting that he stabbed Tyr. Very interesting. You know, and he does have his fancy hand. So, how this timeline went is interesting. We fight alternate Chromie. We fight some Alliance and Horde. And then we gotta fight Chrono Lord Dios, who is the Uldaman dragon. And we change it back because we went back in time to the Infinites turning Murozond, or Nozdormu to Murozond, and Iridikron getting the hunger of Galakrond. In the first thing, we stopped Iridikron. We had to go back again because that caused bad stuff because of Murozond. So then we went back, and then we stopped Murazan. So Iridikron got the hunger of Galakrond, went through a void portal, and let's just say we see him more recently, but he kind of fucked off for a bit. And we did see a mysterious figure in that void portal. So, that's 10.1.5. Fractures in Time. Multiverse, time travel, augmentation, however you feel about that, and warlocks. Alright? Then, we get 10.1.7. Fury Incarnate. Farak is interrogating the green dragons. But you know what? Virnoth don't like it. Virnoth don't like what Farak is doing. Alright? So Virnoth says, I'm done. Iridikron fucked off. You're a hothead. I'm out of here. She actually went to go talk to her best friend Alexstrasza, because little did we know they were best friends before. They even 1v1'd in OG North Rent. Alright? OG Ice Crown. They 1v1'd. Alright? That was wild. So that happens in the main story. But then, remember how I told you we 3D printed Tyr? Well, we go back to get his memory, and we turn him on. All the way. Alright? It took a while, there were some steps in between, but we got Tyr, we turned him back on, and he's back. Meanwhile, the Draenei go and reunite with some Minari Eridar that are like, you know what, the Legion kind of sucks. Can I hang out with y'all? And Valen's like, okay. And then we get Dream Surges. Alright? The tree. Alright? And this had actually been hinted at after we helped Norse Dormu. Alexstrasza was like, the tree is blooming. You know, this tree, which we had found out when we did on Narn Plains, had been planted in the dream. When did it get planted? It wasn't when they were on the Isles. It was planted in the dream before, right after Shadowlands, I think. So in the 3-year gap, it was planted in the dream. So it had been growing for a bit. So it's getting ready to bloom into Azeroth. And Marithra had kind of adjusted it, because Marithra was like, yo, I know a place in the dream that's good for it, aka this dream area. Because the green dragons have kind of had it in to get to the Dragon Isles in a way, but not completely. But they could get into the area. I'd imagine they couldn't get through the portal, but they could go to the Dragon Isles in the dream. Alright? And that's where she planted the tree, because it'd be safe. You know, look at this little area. Imagine no tree here. This is a pretty well-guarded area. Alright? Especially with dragons all over the place, protecting it. So the dream's gonna bloom. And Alexstrasza is like, I know where Farak is gonna Farak is gonna do something with this tree. Alright? We're starting to see these dream surges. And turns out, Druids of the Flame start showing up. We're like, what? These guys from way back in Cataclysm? Yeah, and they start opening portals. Trying to open portals to the dream. Of these dream dream surges. Alright? So that's all going on in the Dragon Isles. Meanwhile, the Night Elves get to integrate boys into the Wardens proper. Alright? We get the Forsaken beating up Scarlet Crusade in Lordaeron. Alright, so good for them. We also get the Eastern Kingdom Cup, because the Flight Masters are like, yo, dragon riding is great. Alright? So, there was quite a bit going on. You know, not as much as some. But this was all to prepare for the tree. Because the tree is about to bloom. And Farak, using the Druids of the Flame, using all the Shadow Flame ore and Jarden, crafted a weapon. Alright? So as we're heading to get the tree ready, Ysera and Marithra are taking us into the dream because after Jarethis, Ysera's granddaughter, Marithra's son, was attacked by Farak in 10.1.7. Alright? She knows we gotta go to the dream. So it was like converging points right here. Farak busting in with the axe. Us going in with Marithra to help out because she knows it's coming. And we go into the dream to get ready to protect the tree. And Farak is already busting in. Alright? Already busting in and burning stuff. Alright? Because he is trying to get into the wellspring of life. So he can... He's trying to turn the tree and the Emerald Dream into Flame World. Because he loves fire. So, we head into the dream. We form the Dream Wardens to protect the dream. I mean, they were already kind of there. But yeah, we get Loa involved. Other wild gods. Dragons. Everybody who will join. And we start beating back the Jarden. Beating back Druids of the Flame. Some people change sides. Alright? But Farak wants to burn the tree and burn Azeroth. You know? We have a couple of little side quests in here where Virnoth, who has now joined Team Aspect because Farak is bad, but she has joined our side because Alexstrasza is her friend. They had a little chat. Okay? What they did behind closed doors, that's between them. Alright? So Virnoth goes off because Rathian's like, yo, there's some Storm Dragons. Yo, there's some Nether Drakes. Because they start pulling in all the dragons. We get Nether Drakes. Alright? We get the Storm Drakes from Stormheim. Alright? Think about that. Think about that. Nether Drakes are from Netherstorm. Alright? Listen. They may hang out over here and over here, but they are from Netherstorm. Alright? So, we have another from Stormheim, the Storm Drakes. Alright. Okay. Virnoth gets them all together. Virnoth freezes Odin. Will that be a problem later? Who knows? He's a popsicle now. That's what he gets. So, we get all these people ready because Farak's going to attack the tree. Alright? The shield is lowering. They're trying to punch through the shield to get here. Alright? We head over. We lower the shield. We fight Farak. We have our Avengers Endgame moment. But then we had to lower the shield to get him drawn out. And we beat all his people here. But he gets in. Alright? But we're already there. We're heading in right after him. Alright? And over here, Ysera and Marithra have a little bonding moment. And Ysera essentially is like, yo, Marithra, you gotta be the aspect that we deserve. And then also, Gracious dies. RIP. And there's some fire druids that don't want to be on the team. Maybe we'll get those later. That'll be cool. Alright, but we head into the raid. So, Farak had a good time in here. Alright, because he flamed up a tree. Because we're literally, like, following him in. We're on his ass. Alright? But his forces had busted in and did some stuff. And we're fighting them. And Narroot goes down and then is raised in flame. Shadow flame. Alright? And then Agira, the elder that got away. Alright. She's ready to go. She's ready to fight. Because she's the one who made Farok's Lego legendary axe that needs to start dropping for everybody. But yeah, so she made that axe. We gotta stop her. And little did we know, they had already flamed up one side. Because they got someone on their team. But then we find a fire lizard, a fire snake. We beat him up, get some loot. We fight Laradar. He's a guy. He was turned in 10.1.7 in the prequel quests. So that was a little thing for him. He was that guy. You know, then we go to the dream side and they're just mad at us for being here. And we want loot, so we want Pip's trinket. Pip over here, we want his trinket. So we gotta beat him up. Alright, they're just a sassy trio. And then we fight Nimue, who is literally like been here for like ever. Because the Wellspring Temple. So this temple, the Titans came in and built stuff in the dream. Like the dream portal we see. So this is part of what they've been building in the dream. Alright. And Nimue was built to weave the dream. Alright. Into its patterns. So there you go, Nimue. We beat up Nimue and then she's like, oh, I guess here's a trinket and a staff. I guess you're good. Go through the thing, I guess. And then we're able to bust in and we find out that Farok had teamed up with Smolderon. You know, they both hotheads. He wanted power. After Legion and the Shaman hanging out him, making him the Fire Lord, we kind of just forgot about him and he was like, well, tee-hee, I'm going to do what I want. I'm free. You know, so he teamed up with Farok. How free he is from the Emerald Plain, you know, we may never know fully. But you know what? He's dead now, and Farok ate him. Farok absorbed him. Alright? And then, little did we know, Farok had a chicken on his side. His number 2, his major domo, as you could say, was Tindril Sage Twin. And he could turn into a flaming chicken. He can turn into a different flaming chicken. And a tree. Alright? He was the new guy, the new top fire druid. Druid of the Flame. Alright? And he was popping off. There was another fire dude, but this is a different one. He's the real top dog. He is Farok's top dog. And that's what mattered. And then we stopped Farok himself. Farok the Blazing. You know, we fight him in dragon. We fight him in non-dragon form, as you can see right here. You know, and we stop him from flaming up the tree. Because we may have went in the raid over here, but we had to fly around. And then we had to bust into the tree and save it. The aspects were there watching us fight him, by the way. And then the tree is born. We stop Farok and the tree is born. And the aspects are all empowered by the tree this time. The tree blessed the dragons. And maybe Azeroth did it. Azeroth did it. So, the tree is saved. The dragons have their power back. Viranoth was empowered as well because she stood against her brother. And everything is good. The tree is now in Azeroth. The Night Elves have a new home. And then we throw a banquet. And we have to be the waiter. Alright? Whew. What a ride. But it's not it. There's still a few little things coming. Tyr has been around. He's reforming. The Paladin Order is reforming around him. He's kind of having an emo phase. He's like, why am I even here? Why did I come back? I was dead. So he's dealing with that. All the aspects got their power back. They're happy. So that's all 10.2. Now, in 10.2.5, the tree, now it's got a whole city. The Night Elves are popping off, building this place up quick. Alright? I can't wait to see more. This was 2 months of work. Alright? I can't wait to see what they do more here. They got a dock. They got all this stuff. You know? The aspects have a meeting. We now have a new aspect. The aspect of storms. Representing the storm drakes and the nether drakes. The misfit dragons. You know, what part she will play will be an interesting one. We got Ysera aspect of the dreams. We got Abyssian aspect of the earth because he was picked because we knew it wasn't going to be one of the two we picked. And Sibylian and Rathian are actually having good brother time. You know, everything is right in the world. Alright? Gilneans reclaim Gilneas. Archaeology isn't here, but archaeologists have arrived in this patch. We have that Outland Cup, and everything is feeling good. And that's the story so far of Dragonflight, as told by Bob. Oh my god, it's been an hour. Oh my god. But yeah, that's the story of the dragons. You know, the Drakthir are throwing a party themselves. This patch as well. What is going to happen next? Well, remember when I said the Dragon Isles awoken? And what caused it? Well, I'm going to be real. I think Azeroth caused it. Because here's the thing. Khadgar mentioned whispers when we threw the party. Alright? Khadgar mentioned hearing whispers. Alright? And Kalecgos was like, interesting. So, here's what I'm thinking. Azeroth is waking up. Telling the dragons, yo, come home. Because Azeroth probably has a huge connection to the dragons, especially since Azeroth has buffed them now. So, Azeroth is like, it's been 5 years since I was healed in Battle for Azeroth, since the old gods were defeated. Alright, so 5 years later, 7 years after the stab, about 6, 7. So she's waking up. She's like, dragons come home. Dragons are in the area. Island waking up. What does that mean? Is the dragons first and the island waking second? Who knows? Chicken and the egg. Azeroth was first, actually. So, boom, Dragon Isle, beacon gets turned on. We have our adventures, Azeroth and the tree, Azeroth through the tree, growing in it with the power of the Shadowlands and the Dream, uses that tree to bless the aspects. And now the aspects are souped up by frickin' Azeroth magic, which you can say it's Titan magic, but all of the dragons say this feels different than what we had before. And then I can finally talk about this one dungeon once again. Kajin, the Unyielding, sees with hatred for Keeper Tyr for tampering with the ancient wellspring beneath Tyrhold. Waters that once flowed with the eternal essence of Azeroth have been polluted by Order magic. How is she a Titan without Order magic? What is she? What is she? A dragon? A Tauren? A troll? We gonna find out. Something's gonna happen with the Titan Soul Saga, and I'm here for it. And we got a few this was the epilogue. We got a few interim patches where we'll see what we get, but we're leading into the Titan Soul Saga. Was this the beginning? Was this the prequel to the Titan Soul Saga? Because it literally has Azeroth stuff. Alright? I think it was Azeroth waking it up and telling the dragons come home. Because the dragons, like birds, are more in tune with the environment, and Azeroth spoke to the dragons before Khadgar and Thrall and Anduin and whatnot. But yeah, I think I got everything. I may have missed some little stuff. You know, this was the Bob recap, and overall, I've had a good time with Dragonflight. I've been enjoying it. I can't wait for more stuff to do in the War Within. And we'll see what's up with these pirates. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.